Good morning, everyone. I'm Ankit, and you're watching Indian Express Analysis, which goes live every day at 11 a.m. on StudyIQ IS English channel. Today is 11th of August, and we are going to discuss important news and articles from our favorite, the Indian Express newspaper. How was your Rakhi? Please do let me know in the comments. Mine was very good, although a bit tiring, but it was good. Now today we'll start off our today's discussion with the left out article of Thursday, that was Rhizotope project, right? If you remember, we were about to discuss this article because of lack of time we were unable to do it, right? So we are going to start our today's discussion by understanding this Rhizotope project. This project was essentially started in South Africa to prevent the poaching of rhinoceros. As you can understand, rhinoceros are very famous for their horns. So what poachers used to do, they used to kill the rhinoceros and take out their horns and sell them in the black market. So by Rhizotope project, how it will work, that we'll try to understand. This has reduced the impact of poaching on the lives of rhinoceros. So this is important from GS paper 3 perspective, right? In the second article, we are going to cover a very important species that is in news, that are Asiatic lions. Why is Asiatic lions in news? What are the differences in Asiatic lions as compared to African lions? We'll try to understand that topic in detail. This is again important from GS paper 3 perspective, because you can see important species that are in news that have been frequently asked in the exam. If you can recall the discussion that we had in the separate video on the Gaj scheme of Assam, Gaj Mitra scheme, there we discussed species that are in news, that was elephant. Similarly, we are going to cover in detail the various aspects of Asiatic lions. This makes it important from GS paper 3 perspective. In the third article, we'll cover a very important scheme of Government of India known as Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, the scheme which provides free LPG connection to women who are previously dependent on traditional sources of fuel for cooking their food, right? So how the scheme was introduced, what are the essential features, is it working well or not, what are the important changes in the decision that the government has introduced? We are going to understand the scheme in great detail, which is important from GS paper 1, 2 as well as 3 perspective, right? In the fourth article, we are going to understand Quit India movement. Quit India movement, also known as Agast Kranti, was a very important milestone in India's fight for independence. This Quit India movement, which started in 1942, ultimately resulted into throwing out of Britishers from India 5 years from Quit India movement, that is in 1947. So we'll try to understand the importance of Quit India movement and why are we discussing this particular article, because 8th of August is the annual anniversary of beginning of Quit India movement. It started on 8th of August and this year it has also completed another anniversary. So a big article came on PIB where Prime Minister has extended his wishes to the freedom fighters who fought in Quit India movement, and we are going to cover it in great detail, which is important from GS paper 1 modern history perspective. Sorry, I was not able to change the fifth heading. It should have been changed to reflect a new heading. Let's see what is the new heading. We'll discuss it. Okay. I have forgotten what was the last article. This is a different article. No need to worry. So, how was your Rakhi? Good morning. Well, I was not done with the black coffee, so please excuse me. I'll take a sip or two in between. Rupa, good morning, sir. Can you summarize bond exchange and its impact on investors? Well, Rupa, hold your question. Ask me that on 14th of August when we'll do the Ask Me Anything session. Okay. I will clear your doubt in that session. Do not worry. Because today we are discussing 5 articles and these are big articles. So it will take time for us to cover. That is why I'm not going to answer your question today. I will cover it on Thursday in Ask Me Anything session. Okay. Rupa, so please note it down. Journal of an Aspirant, Benjir, good morning. Yashi, Happy, Stuti, Arya, Rishi, Oshika, Dheeraj, Risha, Mamim, Kanchan, Jui, Gaurav, Santwana, Baga, Suma, Silva. Yes, my regular viewers are from India. Silva, well, Silva, where are you from? Reshma, good morning. Sasmita, good morning. Now, Dheeraj, whenever late in the night you ask me the question, na, you understand I wake up early in the morning. So, whenever late in the night I see your question, the chances is I'm going to bed. And your questions are good, no doubt. They are very good questions, but they are very long. So it would take me 10 to 15 minutes just to type the answer to it. So that is why sometimes I don't reply to your answer. Okay, Dheeraj? So that is why I tell you go to sleep, Dheeraj, because I am also going to sleep at that time. How was your Rakhi, everyone? So guys and girls, how much money did you give to your sister, and girls, how much money did you receive from your brothers? Please let me know in the comments. Were your brothers being generous or were they being stingy? Good morning, Rajneesh. The notes of this session, they will be available on this Telegram channel, ATS Live. So you can subscribe to this channel, and after the session ends, I will get the notes uploaded here. Okay, so this is the beginning of the session. Let us start by understanding the first article that we are going to cover. This appeared in the explain section last week. It talks about attempts to save rhinos by giving them horns that are radioactive. So does it mean that radioactive horns will be harmful for the interest of the rhinoceros? The answer is no. It was super awesome, Sasmita. So I hope your brothers gave you a lot of money. How much did you get? I'm curious about the money aspect. Boys, how much money did you give to your sisters during Rakhi? Let me know quickly. In the meantime, I'll cover the article, okay? So, the context of this article is that we are going to talk about rhinoceros, and as you can see, this is a two-horned rhinoceros of Africa. In India, what kind of species of rhinoceros exist? Can anyone let me know? Can anyone let me know what kind of rhinoceros exist in India? Now, basically, whatever kind of rhinoceros exist, you understand, to protect their horns, you also need to prevent poaching of these animals. So, how this rhizotope scheme works, that we are going to find out in our today's discussion. Yes, grade 1 horned rhinoceros. South African University launched an anti-poaching campaign by injecting radioactive isotopes into the horns of rhino, known as rhizotope project, right? So how this rhizotope project would work, we'll try to understand in our today's discussion. Now, it was launched by University of Witwatersrand in South Africa with support of IAEA. We have covered IAEA many times due to the instances of conflict between Israel and Iran. Now, the objective of this rhizotope scheme is to deter poaching by making rhinoceros horns, first of all, traceable. When you inject them with radioactive substances, and the radioactive detectors would be able to trace these horns if they are smuggled through airports or ports, etc. Similarly, this, by injecting radioactive substances in their horns, it would make these horns unusable for human consumption, whether directly or in medicines, which it is used in the black market for, and this would make it eventually less attractive to the traffickers. So first of all, you're promoting detection of these horns, and second, you're making them unfit for human consumption directly or through medicines. So that is why this would keep down the demand, or would push down the demand for these horns in the black market, just by injecting these horns with radioactive isotopes. Now, radioactive isotopes are injected non-invasively into the horns of the rhinoceros, and these isotopes, first of all, would be harmless to rhinoceros, as they have been proven in the years of safety testing. Now, these horns can be easily detected using the radiation portable monitors, which are already installed in seaports, airports, borders worldwide. So in case these black marketers are transporting these radioactive horns, these will be detected. Similarly, 3D printed horn replicas are used during the testing so as to stimulate the real world shipping concealment. It was found out that these horns were be able to detected in the monitors that are installed in different items. Understood? So this is how this rhizotope scheme would function. Now, why this scheme first of all matters, you have to understand the rhino numbers across the world has plummeted drastically. There were more than 5 lakh rhinoceros in 1900. Now there are only about 27,000 left. So you can understand how drastic is the reduction in the population of rhinos. And over 10,000 rhinos have been killed only in South Africa alone in the last decade. And this highlights the problem of poaching that exists in the country. Traditional methods like dehorning reduces poaching, but you can understand this is also harmful to the behavior of rhino, because it won't, or it will render him behaviorless, or won't be able to interact with other rhinos because of the less of horns, right? Similarly, if I tell you to remove your hair, won't it reduce your confidence? It will. Similarly, what is a kind of a hair for rhino? It is their horns. So if you can't take out rhinoceros because it will affect its behavior and social pattern. Similarly, Rhizotope project offers less disruptive and scientifically sound alternative as compared to dehorning. So this is why it is better. Understood? So now let me know the correct answer to this question. Praveen sir, hello. How are you doing, sir? Praveen sir, I also enjoy watching your crash course. For the starters, Praveen sir has started a crash course in polity. So in case if you have any doubt in polity, if you want to understand how polity works, you can go watch his crash course, okay? I believe he has done 2 lectures on it, on the same channel as you're watching this video. Yes, this works by injecting radioactive isotopes into horns of rhinos to detect or to prevent their illegal trade. Yes. Now, second article, here this article appeared in the newspaper yesterday and it talks about Asiatic lion pair adapting well to the Vizag Zoo, right? Now, this is the species that we are going to talk about, Jungle Karaja, that is bug, lion, okay. So, the World Lion Day, it actually celebrated every year on August the 10th and that is why this news appeared on yesterday's newspaper. It's quoted Indira Gandhi Zoological Park of Visakhapatnam as the zoo workers, they are optimistic about the numbers of Asiatic lions in the zoo, currently at 2, but it will go up in the near future because these 2 lions, they're interacting quite closely with each other. Now, the zoo officials have said that the pair of Asiatic lions, which includes a 12-year-old male and a 4.5-year-old female, they are ready to breed and bring more cubs into the world, right? Now, Asiatic lion, these are also known as Persian lions, Indian lions, and they belong to a subspecies of lions, and the lion species is known as Panthera leopersica. Panthera basically is the name given to different species belonging to the family of cats. So, what is the biological name of tigers? Do anyone know? Panthera what? Panthera tigris. Similarly, Panthera leopersica is the name given to the Asiatic lions. Persian lion, Asiatic lion, Indian lion, one and only the same thing. Now, Indian lions are found exclusively only in India, that are Asiatic lions, specifically in and around the regions of Gir National Park in Gujarat. Once it was available in different countries across West Asia and Middle East, but now they have become extinct in all the other countries except India, where the last refuge of this species live. So, if the question appears Asiatic lions today are spread across Middle East and India, the answer would be incorrect. There are only present in the India, right? Silva, you're from Nagaland. Which city in Nagaland or which district in Nagaland? Now, in the meantime, there is also a big difference between African species of lions and Asiatic species of lions. Can you notice one big difference in the images? On the extreme right is the African lion, here is the Asiatic lions. Kohima, so capital city of Nagaland. How's the weather there these days, Silva? Now, let us understand the difference in these 2 species, then only you'll know the big difference. The first big difference is the size of the lions. Now, Asiatic lions, they are smaller in size as compared to African lions, but the biggest difference between the 2 is the hair around their face. So, you can see African lion looks like a lion straight out of the L'Oreal shampoo ad, right? Similarly, Asiatic lion has less availability and less dense hair around its face. So, this is the biggest difference between the 2 lions, that is the presence of hair. The hair of African lion is flowy, looks straight out of an ad of a shampoo, whereas Asiatic lions has lesser hair. So, the mane, which is the hair around their head, is shorter and lesser developed in Asiatic lions, whereas it is fuller and more dense in the African lions. The social behavior of these 2 lions are also different. The social behavior of Asiatic lions, that they are more homely in nature. They stay with the groups of lions known as pride, whereas African lions are more alpha. They leave the pride unless they want to mate with female lionesses or they want to kill other lions. So more homely are the Asiatic lions. Similarly, the habitats also are different. In India, where Asiatic lions are present, they are available in dry deciduous forest. Whereas the African lions, they are available in savanna, shrublands as well as deserts. So the spread geographically or the kinds of habitats the African lions are adapted to are much diverse as compared to Asiatic lions. The distribution are also quite different. It is widespread in sub-Saharan Africa, whereas Asiatic lions are only available in part of India, that is in Gir National Park in the Saurashtra Plateau, right? Now, the IUCN status is the same. Both of these species are vulnerable in nature, please remember. The sites listing, as Asiatic lions are lesser in number, they have higher protection in the sites, whereas African lion, they are mentioned in Appendix 2. Right. Similarly, Asiatic lions being available in India are protected also under the Schedule 1st of the Wildlife Protection Act. Any species when mentioned in the Schedule 1st, what do you think about the killing and capturing of these animals? Is this prohibited or is this allowed? Let me know quickly. Now let us consider a few more factors relating to Asiatic lions. So the factors of habit, habitats and protection status we have already covered, and we have contrasted and compared them with African lions also. Now let us talk about the few distribution of Asiatic lions. You can understand they are available in India only in the Gir National Park, and their population in recent times have increased. First of all, due to favorable geographic and climatic condition, and also due to the efforts done by the state government of Gujarat. Due to sustained conservation, the IUCN earlier had mentioned these Asiatic lions under critically endangered. They were upgraded to endangered, and later on now they are listed as vulnerable. So as their threat perception has reduced, you can understand the population of these species has only increased. And the closer look at the numbers would tell you that the growth of these species has not kept in reality or in parallel with the expansion in the range of the tigers. For example, if you can look at this idea, since 1930, the ranges of lions in India has expanded more than 4 times, that is by 430%. So ideally the number of tigers should have increased by 4 times, but it has only increased by 2 times, that is by 214%. So this highlights the problem here. And the reason is that the Saurashtra Peninsula, where these tigers are located, it only has a very few amount of protected areas. These are Gir National Park and small sanctuaries around Gir National Park like Panya, Girnar, Mityala and the recently colonized Barda, where the lions are available. So the quality of habitat in the Gujarat is not that sufficient, which would allow more breeding of lions, because just birthing of lions is not essential. You also need to make available the prey that the lions eventually eat, right? So over the decades, these sanctuaries have neared their carrying capacity, and therefore lions have wandered out of space to look for food, etc. And therefore there is a probability that these lions may also reach to the habitats of humans, where wastelands, farmlands, agricultural plantations, they may allow these lions to hunt small animals. But you also have to understand the wildlife of lions and people living in and around Gir, they live symbiotically, because first of all, lions are considered as Gujarat's pride, and therefore people living around the Gir National Park are more tolerant of the species. So only 56% of Gujarat's total 891 lions were found in forest areas. Rest they all live in wilderness, and there are also highly managed animals because of the frequent efforts done in the conservation by the Gujarat government. They rescue them, provide them with medical care and all. So that is why these lions have also become somewhat used to people. So in terms of man and animal conflict, you won't hear such a drastic man and animal conflict between lions and people of Gujarat, because both of them are tolerant of each other, right? So this highlights how the role of state government is essential if you have to increase the population of any animal despite certain geographical and habitat related concerns. Understood? Now let's see if you are able to solve this practice question. This question appeared in 2019, and you can see this statement directly can be solved from our discussion. Similarly, one-horned rhinoceros, do you think they are naturally found only in India? Yes. Yes, prohibited Oshika, Sashmita, Rupa. Killing and hunting of any animal mentioned in Schedule 1 of the WPA is a criminal offence. You will be punished severely because of that. Well, Asiatic lions are found only in India. Double-humped camels are not at all found in India. One-horned rhinoceros are found in India, also in countries like Nepal. So, third also incorrect. Only one is right. Option A would be your right answer. Yes, one-horned rhinoceros in Nepal too. Now, yesterday I told you about the giveaway, right? So, here we have the giveaway. So, I thought, why don't we reward the regular viewers of this session to win this giveaway, which will get you a free UPSC Prelims test series known as UPSC Lakshya Prelims test series. The link is available here. You can get it for free, but you have to do something. What you need to do is that after this video gets over, go to this video again and do a comment on this video, right? Once you comment, we will give you a question and answering it correctly would give you a chance to win this test series for a free. So, I have given the directions here. One student who will answer the given question correctly will get a chance to win Prelims test series, and to get the question, you will have to comment in the video in the comment section after this video gets over, not right now. Okay? So, you can write down the comments, you can ask for questions. We will give you a question and solving it correctly would help you win this test series. Okay? So, let's see who wins this test series. Now, moving to the next article. This article also appeared in Saturday's newspaper. Government has cleared a 30,000 crore compensation to oil firms for their losses on cooking gas sales. But do you recall in the previous time that we discussed PM Ujjwala Yojana, I told you the subsidies here are provided directly into the bank accounts of beneficiaries. So, how do you think was government making losses which was now compensated by the government? I'll tell you, no need to worry. Now, the context here says that the Union Cabinet on Friday approved a budgetary support of more than 30,000 crore rupees to the PSU oil marketing companies like HPCL, BPCL, Indian Oil. They come out with their LPGs, right? And this is to cover their losses on the sale of cooking gas cylinders below the market price in the consumer interest, right? Benjir, I told you, right? After this video gets over, come back to this video and comment in the comment section that please give us the question for giveaway. They will give you the question, okay? Now, why these companies were making losses on the sale of cooking gas? Because if you can recall, in the last year, due to conflicts in Gaza, Israel, as well as conflict that is going on between Russia and Ukraine, the prices of LPG skyrocketed. And to prevent people from spending so much money on the LPG cylinders, government gave a directive to these oil companies to keep their prices of LPG cylinders at low, which also made that these companies were selling LPG cylinders at a loss. So, to compensate for their loss, the government is providing them with the LPG discount, right? So, this is an example of how Lalu Yadav used to give you jamun. So, government is giving jamun to oil marketing companies that good job, now eat this jamun. Jamun essentially here is the money that the government is providing to the companies who make LPGs. Similarly, the context also says that next year for this financial year 2025-26, the government has approved the targeted subsidy of rupees 300 per 14.2 kg cylinders up to 9 refills per year under the PM Ujjwala Yojana. Understand? So, whenever an important scheme is in news, what I should as a teacher do? Any idea? I have told you this before and I will keep following this trend until the end of time. Whenever an important scheme is in news, what should I do? Can I chillau and tell you the each and every aspects of scheme? Like जोर से बोल के सबको scheme बता दूं कि नहीं बता दूं? So, let us understand the scheme known as PM Ujjwala Yojana. Now, in this scheme, which completed 9 years on May the 1st, this becomes very important. Now, what the scheme does, it provides people of India, especially women, free of cost LPG cylinder and also free of cost LPG connection. And by the start of the scheme, which started in 2014, you can see in the 11 years time, It started in 2016, and from that up till 2025 and 2014 there were only 14.2 crore consumers of LPG. Now it has reduced more, it has increased by double to almost 33 crore beneficiaries. So this highlights that this Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana has been a very good scheme. Right. So let us understand important facts relating to the scheme, and after that we'll cover how the scheme has functioned. Has it led to betterment or has it led to challenges? Okay. Now this scheme was launched by Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, and it provides clean cooking fuel, that is LPG, to rural and deprived household. Why is government providing them with reduced LPG or LPG at a reduced price? First of all, to reduce deaths which are otherwise caused by use of unclean cooking fuels like gobar or upla or coal, which leads to emission of large amount of smokes. This is detrimental to the health of women and all the people who are living in the households, and also prevent respiratory illnesses in women and in children due to the air pollution. So this is the ultimate objective of the government, to bring this scheme so as it can lead to betterment of lives of women in India. Now, how the benefits of this scheme is provided? First of all, beneficiaries are given a cash assistance for their Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana connection, and this cash assistance in the scheme is provided with the tune of 1600 rupees for a 14.2 kg cylinder connection, and if you get a smaller cylinder of 5 kg cylinder connection, you will get a monetary benefit of 1150 rupees. And this cash assistance that it is provided to you under the scheme covers the various kind of deposits that you have to make once you subscribe to an LPG connection. For example, you have to deposit a security deposit amount with the companies. You'll have to buy a pressure regulator. You'll have to buy a pipe from the which will transport gas from your cylinders to your burners. Similarly, you'll have to get a consumer card, and you'll also have to pay for the person who is visiting to install these connections. So all of these money that a consumer is otherwise required to pay will be compensated by the government, and this money will be directly transferred to the oil marketing company, so that these companies are providing you all these services for free, right? So this is the first kind of assistance that this scheme provides. Additionally, all the beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, they will be provided their first LPG refill as well as the stove free of cost. Right. So this is also the money that is refunded to the oil marketing companies by the government under this scheme, so that they provide you first LPG refill and stove free of cost. And not just that, once you buy more cylinders, you are also getting a subsidy on those cylinders. For example, government is offering a 300 rupees subsidy per 14.2 kg cylinder up to 9 refills every year. So you can get 9 cylinders every year at a subsidized rate, and this subsidy that is transferred directly into their bank account using direct benefit transfer. So all the other benefits were provided to oil marketing companies. This subsidy is transferred into your account using direct benefit transfer. Okay, and this is available for how many cylinders every year? 9 cylinders every year. Earlier it used to be 12, but government has reduced it to 9. Why it has reduced it to 9, I will tell you. Okay. Now, who are all eligible to get this PM Ujjwala Yojana connection? If you belong to these sections of population, and if you don't have an existing LPG connection in your house, then you will get the benefits. Similarly, you'll realize many other schemes also, the government is providing it to the beneficiaries of other schemes. So suppose if you get funding from the government to make a house, so here the washroom will be constructed under Swachh Bharat Yojana, and the LPG gas connection will be provided to you under PM Ujjwala Yojana. Similarly, Antyodaya and Anna Yojana, it is provided to the people belonging to the poorest and poor section of the society. So government is providing them with free food grains, and to cook these food grains, they are also provided with an LPG connection. Similarly, tea and ex-tea garden tribes, forest dwellers, people who are residing in islands and river islands, they are also getting the scheme. And if you are not covered under this category, but if you still don't have an LPG connection, you can give a declaration to the government saying that I belong to a poor household and not covered under this category. Then also government will extend you the benefits. Okay. So this is how convergence works. Government is providing benefits to people under one scheme, and similar beneficiaries are also provided benefits under other schemes also. Understood? Now, what is the impact of the scheme? First of all, it has led to betterment of health of women. First of all, it reduces indoor air pollution. LPG works without any emission of gases. Therefore, it improves respiratory health of the people living in the house, particularly women and children who live in the house for a greater period of the day. Similarly, it leads to better nutrition. Once you're able to use the gas, it gives you better control to cook any kind of a food you want. Therefore, you can prepare a variety of nutritional meals and it will support your overall health and development. Similarly, it reduces the effort that the women's require to make every day just to source these unclean cooking fuels. Women earlier used to go to forests, used to go to market just to buy the fuel every day. But now this reduces the collective effort of women by providing them with cylinder at the house, which they can use anytime that they want without having to work so much. Also, it brings many environmental conservation. Suppose you earlier used to require wood from the forest, which lead to destruction of forest. Now that requirement also gone, and therefore it leads to environmental conservation, which reduces the dependency on people on forest wood and leads to contribution towards lesser deforestation. Understood? So these are positive impacts of rural households based on this scheme. But there are certain challenges also. First of all, in reality, I told you government offers subsidy up till 9 cylinders every year. But in reality, do you think people are able to buy 9 cylinders every year? The answer is no. And this is because of multiple reasons why people still, despite having the connections, still do not buy as many cylinders as they would have required. This means they still continue to use the traditional sources of cooking, and this is because, first of all, the high cost associated with LPG refills. Second is that many people rightly or wrongly prefer that their food should be cooked using a traditional source of cooking, which according to them gives them a better taste. I don't think so. What do you feel? Please let me know. And also, there is a lack of awareness among rural people about the ill effects of air pollution relating to traditional cooking methods. So these are the factors in total that contribute to lower adoption of LPG regularly. So even if people are provided with connection free of cost and they are provided with first cylinder free of cost, the chances is that they are not going to buy other cylinders. Okay. Another factor is that in reality, it does not significantly reduce the effort done by women on collection of firewood. So suppose every day women used to spend half an hour in collection of firewood. So do you think in half an hour a woman can do a productive work? The answer is no. And even if she would have done a productive work, do you think the employment opportunities in rural area are so much that women would be able to find work? The answer is no. So that is why, despite saving of time, it has not led to a significant increase of women's participation in workforce. And this is due to many different reasons. I told you this time savings might be small. There are limited employment opportunities. Women, unfortunately, their time is not as valued as the time of men in Indian society, and most of the decision on how to spend the money in the household even today rests with men in the country. So therefore, men do not let women buy as many cylinders, and that is why the LPG refill rates in our country is just about 4.47 refills per year as compared to the actual or potential 9 refills every year. Understood? So these are the challenges that the government has faced in increasing the adoption of continued LPG use even despite providing them with the free connection. Okay. Now what needs to be done? This also you should know. First of all, government should look to increase the affordability of LPG by reducing the cost of LPG cylinders or making cylinders available at a smaller sizes, right? Similar to how sachetization has been done. You understand what is a sachetization? Anyone? Can anyone let me know what is a sachetization process? Now, how many of you have seen a big bottles of shampoo available in the market? The shampoos that African lions use. So, big shampoos, good quality shampoos are available anywhere for 700 to 800 rupees. Do you think poor people would be able to buy those big bottles of shampoo? The answer is no. How can a poor people spend 700 to 800 rupees on just a bottle of shampoo? But they also need shampoo to wash their hair. So, many companies have come up with small sachets of shampoo which are available at 1 or 2 rupees, which is making shampoos very affordable. So similarly, you can do so with the LPG cylinders also. LPG cylinder could come up with small 1-2 kg sizes also. Yes. Also, we need to raise awareness among people about the health benefits of LPG and the ill effects of the traditional cooking methods. And we also need to encourage women's employment. Although we are able to save some amount of time of women, but how will they be able to use that time in case if the work opportunities are not provided to them? And we also need to ensure that women's decision making power in the house should be given to women, because men are making the decision and it does not lead to betterment of women. So instead of providing subsidies directly to the household, we can provide subsidies directly into the bank account of women, which the only women can use. So therefore these can be used to increase the adoption of LPG, right? Now do let me know the correct answer of this question. So suppose if a rich person comes and asks for a connection under PM Ujjwala Yojana, will the government give them the connection? Rich person? Yes, all of you are right. Option C is correct. Both answers are right. Both statements are right. So when a rich person would come, like Akshay Kumar says to Rajpal Yadav, na tu ja yahan se, ye scheme tere liye nahi hai. So government would say the same to a rich person. When a rich person approaches to the government shamelessly that please provide us the connection, government would say, ye scheme tere liye nahi hai, okay? This is also a question that you can write after the end of the session, okay? This is the kind of questions that appear in the mains examination. Now, we have begun with the biggest ever sale. This is an Independence Day sale, and you will get as much as 47% discount on all the courses on StudyIQ, right? If you still want to get enrolled, I am taking classes in 2026 batches. I take classes in economy and I take classes every day from 8 to 11. This is why, the reason why I'm less available on YouTube these days. So you can still take admissions to 2026 batch. We are starting a new batch which began on 8th of August. You can still take admissions to it, and you can utilize the code ATS Live to get maximum discount, which are available right now, and it will be available up till Independence Day, okay? Do not worry, Rupa, if you don't understand the context, I will use the meme next time, okay? Bye, Taga, good morning. Now coming up with the next article about Quit India movement. As you can see from this snapshot of PIB, Prime Minister has paid tributes to all people who took part in Quit India movement. You know, my grandfather on the maternal side, he also went to jail during Quit India movement. So he was essentially a freedom fighter. He was very young at that age. He was participating in some demonstration. So the police came, they whisked him away and kept him in jail for weeks. So this Quit India movement in Hindi sometimes has also been referred to as Agast Kranti. How many of you heard about an express train in India known as Agast Kranti Express? So whenever the word Agast Kranti is used, this is to highlight the Quit India movement, which began on 8th of August. So please remember the date. I usually don't emphasize on the date. So when I emphasize on the date, please remember it is important. So that is why Quit India movement also sometimes are referred to as Agast Kranti Divas. Now PM Modi has paid tribute to the people who participated in Quit India movement, recalling their role, especially the role of Mahatma Gandhi's leadership in uniting India to fight for its independence. Now it was launched on 8th August 1942. The leader was Mahatma Gandhi, and the slogan that he gave was to do or die, karo ya maro. And it was a mass anti-colonial movement demanding immediate withdrawal of Britishers from India. So have you seen Hera Pheri 1? Have you seen Hera Pheri 1? So Indians, they were like Babu Bhaiya at the first instance. They said that tu ja yahan se, right? So what happened, or what factors led to the Quit India movement? Let us find out. Now the background or situations that led to Quit India movement, that India was, or people of India, they were in negotiations with the British government to give them independence. So British government came up with August Offer in 1940 and Cripps Mission in 1942. So in these mission, the British government, they said that why don't you take a dominion status from us? Dominion status meant that Indian government or India people can govern themselves but under the sovereignty of Britishers, which was not acceptable to Indian people. Indian people wanted full independence, right? So therefore, failure of Cripps mission in offering Indian people an acceptable constitutional reforms was one of the factors. Similarly, during this time, India was witnessing economic hardships and shortages of essential commodities like food due to the ongoing World War II. The resources, that was food, etc., these were taken away from India and given to British forces who were fighting against the Axis powers in the Burmese region, and this led to shortage of food, rise in food inflation leading to economic hardships. Similarly, there was also this rising nationalist sentiments due to earlier movements like civil disobedience, Poon Swaraj demand, etc. And British government and British armed forces at that time was significantly weakened. So this brought attention to Indian people that if we fight for Indian independence right now, especially at the time when the Raj is weak, we can get our independence, right? So this was the factors that led to the Quit India movement. Also, the attitude of British government at this time was not right. They made certain promises of self-rule, complete independence, which they did not fulfill in different missions. And also failure of August Offer and Cripps mission, as I've already told you, played a very big role. Similarly, instead of being sympathetic towards people of India, Britishers began sympathy towards Muslim League, as at that time Muslim League was demanding a separate country for Muslims, that was Pakistan, and it angered people who wanted a unified country after independence. And many military factors also played an important role. First of all, Britishers were defeated in Southeast Asia. They witnessed a significant setback against Japan. British were forced to retreat from Burma, which deepened the insecurity among Indian people, and Japanese troops, they were advancing quite fastly towards the Indian northeastern region, and this made Indian people quite aware of the dangers of foreign invasion, right? So people from northeast, especially from Nagaland, would understand this part, right? So this is what the factors that led to the Quit India movement. Also, there were many socio-economic factors. Wartime led to diverging of resources away from India to supply and to keep the war efforts of Britishers going on, and this led to shortage of food, heavy taxation on Indian people, and even cause of exporting rice to other countries, and this caused deprivation in India so much so that it led to deaths of lakhs of people in what is known as the worst famine in Indian history, which happened in Bengal, and this was directly linked to the wartime policies followed by British Raj. Also, there was this growing sense of nationalism. Decades long, people have struggled for independence, but it actually did not materialize into complete independence. Similarly, in the second half of the 1930s, Congress ministries for the first time were able to discharge power, and this gave them the sense of self-rule, what kind of ability that they would have in case of an independent country. And earlier movements like individual satyagraha, it built upon the groundwork that the Gandhi always wanted to do. Can you let me know who was the first individual satyagrahi in India? I want to see how many of you have revised your modern history. Who was the first person who volunteered to participate in the individual satyagraha once Gandhi advocated for it? It was Acharya Vinoba Bhave. Yes, correct, Joy Joshi. Now let us understand what happened during Quit India movement. Quit India movement was announced on 14th of July during the meeting of Congress Working Committee at Wardha. They decided that we need to bring a mass movement. Now Congress party is a party, and the decision made by the party is made by a separate group inside the Congress party known as Congress Working Committee. It functions even till date. Now on August the 8th, this All India Congress Committee made a declaration in the city of Bombay to pass Quit India movement. And in this declaration only, it was Mahatma Gandhi who gave the slogan of do or die. Right now, the demands of Indians once the launch of Quit India was done was that they wanted Britishers to immediately go out of India. That is, they wanted complete British withdrawal from India. They wanted a provisional government formation just after the war, and they wanted India to declare completely as a free and sovereign nation. So this was the demand put forward by Indians at the launch of Quit India movement, that they wanted Britishers to go away. So they basically, this was Baba Rao telling to Akshay Kumar, tu ja re, tu ja. Right, so this is what Indians wanted the Britishers to do. They wanted Britishers to ja from India or to go away from India. But in reality, what happened is that instead of going out, Britishers started punishing Indian people. They arrested important leaders of the time, starting from Gandhi to Jawaharlal Nehru to Maulana Azad to Patel, others, and more than 1 lakh of Indian people were arrested at the time of 24 hours since the time of Quit India movement's declaration. Congress as an organization was declared as unlawful, and instead of supporting Congress, Britishers started supporting Muslim League and princely states, bureaucracy and army who were supporting Britishers in this cause against the Congress. So basically all these grouping wanted to allow Britishers to continue and not make India independent. So earlier, when people of India demanded the Britishers to go out of country, and when instead of going out of the country, they started arresting people, so this happened. This was Indian people and this is Britishers government. So violence erupted. Once violence erupted after the arrest of people, this movement emerged to be a more radical of the movement. It turned into a mass uprising, more radical and militant as compared to the previous movements like non-cooperation movement and civil disobedience movement. And even Mahatma Gandhi, who is known for his policy of non-violence, he was willing to accept violence to undertake self-defense. So this is what happened. Complete violence. Indians used to find people who were supporting British rule and they used to beat them to pulp, right? So the main features of this of the Quit India movement was that violence against the state was tolerated by the leaders. Anyone supporting complete independence could join this movement. Students were asked to take leadership after the arrest of important leaders, and total defiance of the government authority started to take place. Therefore, after the arrest of the leaders, this movement started to develop at the grassroots level. People used to crop up and start taking matters in their own hand. And the various different regions that saw important developments during Quit India movement was Bihar and Eastern UP. Here, strong student, peasant and worker participation used to happen. Jayaprakash Narayan started an underground government near side the Bengal border. Armed villagers attacked police posts, strikes in Kanpur, Lucknow, Nagpur, in Maharashtra and UP. Bengal protests, sabotage, peasant movements were linked to QIM that started to happen. In Western India, guerrilla attacks called as Azad government happened in Ahmedabad. In South also, many important strikes used to happen in cities like Bangalore. Right. Similarly, underground activities are the most important highlight of Quit India movement, where many parallel governments were established in Balia, in Tamluk, in Satara. You can remember it as BTS, a very famous Korean brand, right? Now here Chittu Pandey was the leader in Balia. He freed Congress leaders. In Tamluk, in West Bengal, Satish Chandra Samanta provided relief work, paddy to the poor. Vidyut Vahini. Similarly, in Satara in Maharashtra, Y.B. Chauhan, who later became the Home Minister of India and Finance Minister of India, they participated in what is known as Prati Sarkar. This was a kind of an underground government or parallel government that was established. Important leaders who became very important after India got independence like J.P. Narayan, Ram Manohar Lohia, Aruna Asaf Ali, Biju Patnaik, very long time the Chief Minister of Odisha, they played a very important role. Similarly, Usha Mehta, she started an underground radio in Bombay to help disseminate communication to the movement workers of the Quit India movement. Now, the limitation of this movement was that immediate objectives was not achieved. What was the immediate objective? It was complete independence. But we understand complete independence only happened 5 years after the launch of Quit India movement, not immediately. There was lack of central leadership because they were arrested. So this led to very rudderless or incongruent movement. Opposition happened from large sections of society, Muslim League, Communist Party, Hindu Mahasabha, basically all the communal parties, Ambedkar, Periyar, etc., they opposed this Quit India movement and they favored the Britishers. Similarly, people from Muslim section, they participated less because their leaders in the Muslim League told them not to. And there were many instances where communal violence also broke out, which actually lessened the impact of Quit India movement on the freedom struggle, right? Now let's try to start solving the questions. Practice question for this appeared in 2013. Quit India movement was launched in response to which? Tamluk, okay. Tamluk nahi, Tamluk, okay. East Mednipur. Cripps proposal, yes, option B is right. Another question. Well, mutiny of Royal Indian Navy happened in 1946. Second round table conference happened in 1930. Where? I forgot. 1932 or 33? Well, in 1930s basically. Quit India was launched in 1942. So with reference to India, consider the following events. We have to set them chronologically, right? So like Amit Shah says na, aap chronology samajhiye. So third, second and first is the correct chronology. Option C is the right answer. Now tell me, with reference to 8th of August 1942 in Indian history, which of the following statement is correct? 1931. Okay, Santwana. Thank you. Well, I haven't read modern history in few years now. Yes, option A. Now we'll discuss this article tomorrow, okay? It's 11:56 already. It will take me about 10 minutes more, which will be much more than what we desire to do, okay? So let's meet tomorrow. We'll start from this article. Okay, I'll upload the notes a bit late today because I have come up without my laptop. So I'll go to my home and then upload the notes. See you all tomorrow. Have a great day. I'll get another video recorded on ethanol blending program and get it uploaded today. You can watch that. Very important from our exams. Okay. Bye bye all.